usually do newer reviews on newer albums, but this month is the 5-year anniversary of Wayne Static's death. It's kind of sad that Wayne couldn't shake his demons, and, you know, he dealt a lot with drug abuse and ended up being his undoing. But we're going to go right into the music. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but this album is one of the albums that made me fall in love with heavy metal. I mean, this album starts off with Push It. Then you go from Push It to I'm Was Stupid. I mean, that's probably my favorite Static X song. They just kind of took metal in a different direction. And, Wayne always coined himself as the king of evil disco. But this album is just absolutely insane. Like, you're throwing, like, weird trancey shit into it. And then just mixing that with the craziest, heaviest metal. And, like, Wayne wasn't, like, the most gifted guitarist, because if you listen to it, it's a lot of just simple rhythms, but he made it work. And even with tracks like I'm Was Stupid, it's just a very basic, but the thing is, I keep saying it's basic, but the thing is that he played in some weird-ass tunings. He played an A sharp, which is super goddamn low. And he just made it his own sound. With him, Tony, Koichi Fukuda, and Ken J, the original Wisconsin Death Trip lineup, they just work so well together. And that album, still, 20 years later, 1999 is when this album came out. 20 years later, you can still listen to this damn album, and it's still amazing. I still listen to it at work. Like I said, I'm Was Stupid, definitely my favorite. I would probably say it would be I'm Was Stupid, Bled for Days, and probably Stem. Just because it just takes such a hard left. As I said before, Wayne is not out here he's not Herman Lee, he's not Zakk Wylde, he's not this blitzkrieg guitarist, but he made it work. He made this real heavy, low-tuned, distorted sound, and, that Machine, Shadow Zone, Start a War. I never listened to Cult of Static, to be honest, but Wayne was definitely one of the best frontmen I've ever seen. The guy knew how to get a crowd going. He knew how to put on a good show. Static X is they're putting on the 20th anniversary tour with most of the original members, minus Wayne, obviously, but I don't know. Eric has been giving Zero a shot. I just don't know if I can do it. It just doesn't feel like Static X without Wayne. It just kind of feels like Zero and the band from Static X. It kind of feels like, to me, it feels almost like an Audio Slave, and there's another one that unfortunately is incredibly sad with Chris Cornell. But it doesn't feel the same way anymore. And I know I'm not gonna shit on Zero or Edsel Dope or whoever, because a lot of people think that Zero is Edsel Dope, and the evidence is pretty strong, but he keeps saying he's not, but that's another story for another time. But this album is amazing, and like anybody that listens to metal needs to listen to this album and just kind of enjoy it for what it is. You get a lot of these metal bands that come out nowadays, and I don't want to say they're not talented, but because Jared Dines definitely put all of us to shame when people were saying metal doesn't take talent, because He made 2 videos of it, and people that said that made absolute fools out of themselves. But I don't know. I just don't get, like, this is the kind of stuff I get. This is the kind of music I get. I don't get, like, I just don't get the new stuff. I don't get, like, the Memphis Mayfires, and I know Black Dahlia is not exactly new, but, like, I don't get them. You know, I'm more stuck to my roots. Like, the only newer stuff that I've listened to that I've enjoyed that could be considered metal or hard rock would be like Fire from the Gods, which I'm planning on doing a album review on them. Artificial Language, which I feel like I'm speaking about them ad nauseum. But that's about it. And it's just real sad because the 90s were like a great generation, not just for music, but for metal. And it's sad because I feel like we're losing a lot of the great musicians. You know, we lost Chris Cornell. We lost Scott Weiland. We lost, you know, Chester. And a lot of people, you know, will go back to, you know, Chester and Linkin Park and, oh, well, you know, that's new metal. That doesn't really count. But tell me, you know, growing up, if you listen to metal, tell me you didn't listen to either Hybrid Theory or Meteora, because I know you did. Don't lie to me. I know you did. It's just sad because we forget that these people are human. We see them on a stage. They look happy. They're up there having a good time. They're smiling. They're jumping around. But at the end of the day, a lot of these people struggle with the same things we do. And unfortunately, sometimes you can't beat it. You know, people like Wayne, who unfortunately overdosed, or Cornell or Chester Bennington, who unfortunately committed suicide. You have to realize that if you're gone, you impact people. And I've talked about this in the Now We Sleep video, or the review. There's a lot of people out there that struggle with depression. There's a lot of people that struggle with anxiety. And when it gets its worst, you think, everybody will be better off without me. Or you think that, you know, this bottle of booze, you know, this pill, this line of Coke, whatever it is going to numb the pain and make me feel better. But the thing is, it doesn't. You're replacing one problem with another. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to be like fucking Jerry Springer or Dr. Oz. I'm not going to preach the straight edge fucking life because I smoke. I have the occasional cocktail. But everything in moderation. And the other thing is you got to know that it may not seem like it, and I know your mind can fuck with you, because sometimes your mind can be your best friend, but also your worst enemy. There are people out there. There is help. Don't let your gifts go to waste. I would love to be able to go out and see Wayne Static still on a stage. I would love to go out and see Chris Cornell still on a stage. I mean, Lane Staley. I mean, I could keep going. There's help. There's a way out, even if it doesn't feel that way. Anyway, Wisco Death Trip, 20th anniversary. Bang this shit. Have a good day, Outliers.